Reflex and Ed Sheeran's fan club version 2.0. Gag Reflex have not had the best start to the season. They are something like 2-4, I want to say. And Ed Sheeran fan club, they are 4-1, 5-1. So it's a pretty big difference, the top of the table versus the bottom of the table. As we're heading into the second split, can Pyrrhic Shadow and his team turn it around? We've got a lot of action going on the Facebook page today. I am ready. We're gonna be getting the next game pretty shortly, so I'm not gonna be playing any music. Alright, I actually will be going to play a little bit of music just for a moment, because it looks like one of these teams is going to take a little bit longer to get ready, but, you know, next 60 seconds or so, we'll be back with the third game of the night, Gag Reflex taking on Ed Sheeran's fan club version 2. Alright, oops, wrong one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Seamus Anderson, bringing you the third game of the night. Ed Sheeran's fan club versus Gag Reflex. It's a tale of two teams on the opposite sides of the leaderboard. Ed Sheeran's fan club has been absolutely wrecking the competition, and Gag Reflex have just started winning their first few games. So let's see if they can take that momentum and maybe win some more. And taking down one of the top teams in the league would definitely be good for them. Couple of bans: Caitlyn, Echo, Diana, Darius, Rek'Sai, Victor. Caitlyn ban against Hi Buddy. Looks like Infamous B is not the only player who really likes to play Caitlyn in the LCS. Kill the Devil hovering over Jax. Wow, that would be an interesting pickup for sure. since I don't think we've seen Jax in the UVA LCS. We didn't see him at Worlds, and we haven't seen him in competitive play for a very, very long time. So the question is he actually going to do it? He's gonna do it. Wow, this is gonna be a Jax, and he's hovering over Smite, but I don't know. I don't know if I trust Jungle Jax. I mean, it sounds cool, Jungle Jax, Jungle Japes, Jungle JJ, Jungle Jojo, I don't know. But Braum Tristana, that is what we've seen all game, or all night so far, Braum Tristana. I really want to see if this Jungle Jax works, or just Jax in general. Jax is one of my favorite champions. He's one of the first champions I played when I was when I started playing League of Legends and just went up to, like, you know, level 30. Because his lines are awesome, like, who's the champ and whatever, and he hits people with a freaking lamppost because he's that strong. But unfortunately, in competitive play, he's really polarizing how strong he is. If he's strong, he's generally too strong. And just this late game god that you can't peel and you can't kill. But you have to get him to that point, and he doesn't even do that well against super strong AD carries such as Tristana, because they can just knock him back. Hi buddy, PPC Master. PPC Master was not target banned this game, so did have Sona available, but goes for the Janna instead. The Sona's very not that good in the meta right now. So let's see. Sexy is gonna lock in the Mundo for their top laner. Sexy plays ADC, I want to say. I don't think he's actually gonna be playing Mundo, but Tabi no Tochu. Kindred has been banned every game so far, and we haven't seen her played. I would like to see Kindred. I know that Mid-Boss Wuo played her, so we've seen her played in the UVA LCS before, but just not today. Tom, on the other hand, is a champion we've seen played, and pretty successfully by Botox. So it looks like he will lock it in. That's going to be a jungle Tahm Kench this time, though, and a support Braum. Means mid or Disco Nuno still can pick his mid lane champion, and he's going to get the counter pick against Pyrrhic Shadow. Both mid and Disco Nuno and Pyrrhic Shadow are their captains, and they're both the highest ranking players. I think they're both... Pyrrhic Shadow is Diamond 5, and I want to say Disco Nuno is as well. Not entirely sure. He's either Diamond 5 or Platinum 1, but I know that... Okay, he's Platinum 1, but I know that a lot of mid laners in the LCS really, really respect him. And I mean, you've got to. They're 4-1 in the league, and they are looking very, very strong, you know, just to qualify for the playoffs. And I would dare say maybe do well in the playoffs. They're in a tough group, but, you know, they've taken down teams like Bare Naked Laners. I want to say they lost to the Black Turtles. Let me check. Who did Black Turtles lose to? Okay. Yeah, Ed Sheeran did lose to the Black Turtles, but beaten every other team in their league so far. And Group A is definitely a tough group. I don't know if it's the harder group. I think both groups are fairly hard and have pretty strong teams. But, you know, I definitely think this team is a possible contender for later in the game. Mid or Disco Nuno, true to his name. Gonna be hovering over mid or mid and Disco Nuno. Interesting to see Pyrrhic Shadow. He is a Diana and Echo player, so target bans for sure coming out of Ed Sheeran's fan club. Should I even call him a team? I guess they're just Ed Sheeran's fan club. But Pyrrhic Shadow does still have his talent available. He plays a lot of off champions in the mid lane, but he does love his assassins. And Soldai playing Cho'Gath top means that this will be Kill a Devil playing Jungle Jax. Mid or Disco Nuno has 3 seconds to lock it in, and it's gonna be... Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard of the word? Or no, I messed it up. Wow. Just kidding, I'm not actually that salty. Have you heard the word The bird, bird, bird. Where's the bird? Bird. Seriously though, Anivia in the mid lane, very strong. Super strong late game, excellent wave manipulation. Not as strong as, let's say, Azir, but we've seen, Expectate player. We've seen her a couple of times at Worlds too, I think. But we do have a little bit of time before we get into the game. It's going to be 20 seconds to run down the clock and then a 3-minute spectator delay. I'm going to go for a quick caster's break. But ladies and gentlemen, please don't go anywhere. The third game of the night will continue right after this. The UVA LCS will return.
That bloom in the darkness, it's a sighting that is rare to come across. Nobody seems to have noticed that the power that could be bestowed is lost, riding through the twilight. This armory protects my heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the third match of the night. It is Ed Sheeran's fan club on the red side taking on Gag Reflex on the blue side.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
We have loaded into Summoner's Rift and actually Emperor Leonidas. I think blue side has the better composition. I'm not sure. Tristana and Nivea, and they have a really strong front line, whereas Talon is generally considered a champion that sort of falls off. And I don't know if the strength of a Jax complements that well enough to sort of help them in a late game situation. That being said, the early game's pretty strong. Oh, Pyrrhic Shadow might be in trouble here. Can they land any? Nope, no stuns. It's a lot of procs, though. You got the fish and the Braum stuns are just the passives to keep track of. It'll be pretty interesting to see. No invades or anything. Cho'Gath might be waiting for a potion, actually. Soldai instead of going for, yep, definitely there. Instead of starting a camp, Soldai's just going to decide she wants to pick up an extra health of mana potion. Give her a little bit more sustain. PPC Master on his Janna pickup. It's definitely one of the champions that he favors the most in the game. He is well known for playing Sona, Leona, and Janna at a very high level. Other than that, though, he's not very effective. So whenever teams play against Gag Reflex, they need to choose whether they want to ban out either PPC Master or would they rather ban out Pyrrhic Shadow. Looks like, at least for today, PPC Master is going to be able to pick his Janna and Pyrrhic Shadow against Mid or Disco Nunu. This is probably the lane I want to highlight, just because both of these guys are very, very good. Like, I guess in this matchup, I would definitely consider Anivia to have the strong advantage. It's very easy for her to harass, and it's hard for Talon to farm, much less harass her, even with Rake. Nice rupture there from Soldai, but generally as a Cho'Gath, you go for your E instead, so Wave's going to be pushing in. Sexy is actually in the top lane on this Mundo pick. Sexy was an 80 carry from the last season's LCS, but now he's transitioned into the top lane fairly well. As the team, like I said, Ed Sheeran's fan club has been one of the cleanest teams we've seen so far. Soldai lands another rupture, but look at the damage. Soldai's in huge trouble if another cleaver lands. Wow. Did Sexy even have cleaver, or was that just... Okay, he did. I was going to say, he didn't have his Burning Agony, his W. Nice dodge from PPC Master. It's Archon Alpha. And Lyrel are trying to do their best to farm in this lane. And really, really interesting is that Anivia is actually being pushed back by this Talon. Oh, I will say, Anivia is a very hard champion to farm with because their attack animation is so wonky. It's really slow, it feels disjointed, it's not comfortable. So it's kind of understandable if Mid or Disco Nunu does fall a little bit behind. Also because Anivia is a champion that does scale super well. Another cleaver lands and more damage. Hi, buddy. He keeps landing these double rockets. Of course, the AoE damage that Jinx has. It's if you're playing against a Jinx. Oh, jeez. Are lucky that that zap missed. But yeah, if you're playing against a Trist or a Jinx, really don't be near enemies. Just don't bunch up because if a Jinx rockets one of you, and you know, you walk into your teammate, you're both going to take a lot of damage. Yeah, I definitely do think that the blue team has a very high amount of dive. Obviously, they have the Talon that can get on the backline and the Jax. But there's just so much peel that I'm not sure if it'll be enough, you know? Tabi no Tochu, Sexy, and Archon Alpha are going to be huge front lines. Anivia has self-peel. Tristana has self-peel. Both teams have they're very versatile in what they do because there's some engaged and there's some disengaged on both sides. But I still think I want to give it to Gag Reflex, or not to Gag Reflex, to the fan club. But for now, Gag Reflex does have the minion advantage. So that's pretty good. And Ajax wants to be able to farm up. And I'm pretty sure that Tom is not known for his clear. Maybe. He should be maxing W, so I guess it wouldn't be too bad. No, but he's maxing the stun instead. Huh. Interesting. I figure maybe the percentage health damage allows you to clear better. Alright, hold on. I need to figure something out here. Oh, wow. Sexy taking pretty low. Your W damage, you can throw these dudes out at people. Okay, so the magic damage stays the same. Or is it based off of how much AP they have? I don't know. I've seen a lot of W maxes on Tom. I know it's good to have the stun, but the W damage is ridiculous as far as percentage. Oh, gank in the top lane. Soldai's gonna flash away, but the Devourer Sexy didn't even need a stun there. Soldai is definitely dead. Who's gonna go over to? First blood for the Mundo. And Lyrel, nice. Gonna be able to buffer his jump and get out of it. Nah, Haddendrad, I'm gonna disagree with you there. You definitely max percentage health. Like, it's so useful to have. I could maybe see maxing the Q first, but generally you go for damage first. He doesn't really need to eat that much. So first blood, giving Ed Sheeran's fan club the gold lead now. Sexy gonna have a kill and a little bit of a CS lead, not too much. Yeah, but you can get 3 stacks pretty easily. I would talk to other people about it. I don't really want to argue about what to max on Tom Kent while I'm trying to cast this game, but a roam from Pyrrhic Shadow, but nice pings coming out of. Whoa! Pyrrhic Shadow's going ham. Archon Alpha gets the heal from Lyrel. The traps is going to catch Archon Alpha though, and High Buddy gets reset, but here's Tabi. Tabi's going to do a lot of damage. High Buddy flashed away, but Disco Nuno's here too. What are you doing? High Buddy and Pyrrhic Shadow went so ham, but they are all going to die. That's a second kill over. PBC Master already down. Pyrrhic Shadow might be able to get out alive. But that's still 2 for 1, and they only kill the support. I would say not worth. Sexy actually teleported, though, which is a little bit curious. Can he land the cleaver here? He does. Pyrrhic Shadow's in trouble. Nope, he's okay. Still, that Pyrrhic Shadow really, really wanted that. And you can see he has his mobility boost. He wants to be able to roam and make plays like that happen. But if you commit that hard against the enemy, when the enemy has their backup there, you are definitely going to get punished like we saw. Sexy returning to the top lane. Good old tank meta. Senjo and I were talking, we were in a game together, and we were just talking about how... Remember when the meta was like Renekton versus Shen? And this is pretty similar. Big beefy guys that even if they auto-attacked each other like 20 times, they still wouldn't kill each other. Not really fun to watch, not really fun to play, but you know, tanking's a job, mate, and it's a good job. Pays well, pays you in minions. Pays in damage too. Soldai actually taking quite a bit of damage, and effective cleaver lands. Sexy. Doesn't have his ultimate just yet, up in like 2 seconds, but the rupture is probably going to stop it. Yep. Soldai just going to be using her consumables to heal back up, and we will see that fight continue. For now, Sexy does have the advantage. Oh, the silence. Yikes. Alright. Soldai's being taken pretty low. Sexy lands another cleaver. Jesus. Wow. What is Soldai maxing? Soldai is... okay. Soldai is pretty low level in terms of rank. And when I was new to the game, I also maxed Q on Cho'Gath. It's generally recommended that you max E or W, because the Q is not supposed to be a damage spell, it's supposed to be more just for the knockup. And the cooldown and damage you get when you level it isn't actually worth that much. But, you know, not something I blame her for. Definitely with, you know, the 118 champions in the game, it's not that easy to always know what you actually need to take. And we do see a gank at the top lane. Tabi no Totsu not going to be able to make it. I don't understand why directed camera. Oh, maybe this is why. Okay, nope. Nothing going to happen. Soldai pops, or forces the ultimate out of Sexy, but Sexy's going to be fine. It's really interesting, though. Directed camera loves top lane when just in general, but also when it's tanky. I'm not entirely sure why. Zap lands onto Tabi, and Archon Alpha's here. High Buddy is now caught out. Okay, Chompers lands. No, Chompers don't land. High Buddy doesn't have flash. High Buddy's in big trouble. The stun gonna land, and High Buddy's definitely dead. Devour is going to pick it up, and that is a 4th kill over to Ed Sheeran's Fan Club version 2. Yeah, the rupture damage is just negligible. Man, words are hard at this point. Bitter Disco Nuno, he's gonna get jumped on, he's gonna get stunned, that's a lot of damage, he's gonna get taken down, but he still has the egg form available. Flash in from Braum, and the ult on to Kill Devil. Kill Devil now gets taken down by the Tabi no Tochu Tongue Lash. And Bitter Disco Nuno survives. Oh, it turns out there was a bug. I didn't actually catch that. Onto the Jinx, right? That's unfortunate. Whoa! Super Mega Death Rocket going to the right of Sexy. I don't know if that would have been enough for a kill. It might have actually been at this point. So, Sexy getting pretty lucky. I'm not sure if the bug actually mattered, though. Onto High Buddy, right? Because he was slowed anyway. I don't know. I feel like in that position, it was just that he was cut out was the major issue. Not that if Devourer bugged. Knock up onto Archon Alpha. Either way, it's not like... We got it out recorded and we can look back at it, but there's not much we can do. I don't think it's worth, yeah, having like a remake for, even if it is a bug. And see, and that's another thing. If you max Rupture, I mean, the only reason why I'm going in on this is because that's all we're looking at is these Ruptures. If you max Rupture and you miss it, you lose like 90 mana. You don't get damage. Oh, Pyrrhic Shadow going on mid or Disco Nuno, who doesn't have his egg anymore. The wall's not good. Sexy going for a dive, but he has to flash away. What the heck is going on? Kill the Devil. He's... Stalkers? Wait, is this... Oh my god. This is Runeglaive Jax. No way. Maybe. Is this AP Jax? What are his runes masteries? Alright, he has armor. And maybe a little MR. But no attack damage. This might... No. Yeah, he has attack damage. A little bit, I think. I'm not entirely sure, actually. But this might be AP Jax. That would be incredible. Or maybe just going for Trinity's Force, and I'm getting way too excited over this. But the gank onto the mid lane. Great Wall is going to block Kill Devil. The flash away from mid or Disco Nuno. Kill Devil is not able to get the stun down. That is going to be a very important summoner spell down for mid or Disco Nuno, because now he doesn't have his flash and he doesn't have his egg form. We'll see how the rest of his team react. Tabi no Tochu's actually been able to outfarm Kill the Devil at this point, 43 to 40, so it's pretty close, but with the 2-0-3 score involved in every kill his team has gotten so far, I'm very impressed with this jungle Tahm Kench. Soldai back on the top lane against Sexy, who has now gotten quite a bit of a minion lead, up over 20 minions. 13 minutes in, it's 1-5 in terms of kills. About a 2,500 gold lead for Ed Sheeran's Fan Club, so it's a good lead. Not impossible to come back from, though, if you are Gag Reflex. Anivia going for both tier and a lot of Aegis. Oh, don't think I'm going to see much there, so Disco Nuno definitely going to want his blue buff. Pinging the Mion, that's good because Pyrrhic Shadow was in the area. Maybe looking for a gank, but speaking of ganks, there's a pink horn in the top lane. And Kill Devil is looking for something. Oh, gank coming in from jungle. Tahm Kench, the ultimate in. High Buddy is going to get stunned up. He's going to get locked down. PPC Master uses ult. It's not going to be enough, though, is it? Hi, Buddy. You are so dead. But instead, they're going for PPC Master, who flashes away but still gets flash devoured. And PPC Master takes the hit for his 80 carry. What a good support. Mid or Disco Nuno Ignite ticking down. It's not going to be enough. And now Soldai in big trouble. Sexy's chasing her, and the Rupture is going to land on... Oh! Super Mega Death Rocket. It mattered. It actually mattered that High Buddy survived because he was able to send that rocket out, and that gives a kill over to Gag Reflex, and now Sexy in huge trouble. Or not, because he does huge damage. Nope. Kill the Devil's gonna be able to pick that kill up. And that's a little bit back in favor of Gag Reflex, but High Buddy's in trouble, and the Fan Club have picked up quite a few kills. They're gonna go on to Lyrel. Takes a lot of damage from the Zap and the Rake. Teleport coming in. Heal's going to be enough to save Lyrel. Pyrrhic Shadow is going to get out, but High Buddy now. He's going to get stunned. They're still taking a lot of turret hits, and High Buddy has his support available. Archon Alpha goes down to Soldai, and are they turning it around? Gag Reflex with some excellent team play and nick of time heroics managed to pick up another kill. Wow. That was incredible. Soldai now in the mid lane, as of course we did see Kill a Devil 2 go farm top lane for a little bit. See what he recalls with. He's got gold, and it's gonna be a Phage. Okay, that's probably just gonna be standard Trinity Force. He's not going for Devourers though. It looks like he just wants to Stalker's Blade for the slow. I don't know if he goes Warriors then, or you don't want to go late Devourers though. That's a pretty. I don't think the Trinity Force rush is worth a late Devourers, so I'm not sure what he's thinking, but it'll be interesting to see. Nice Rupture landing onto Sexy. Can he land this Cleaver? And yes, he does. Yeah, Devourer at this point in the game would be really, really late. Looks like Pyrrhic Shadow is maybe looking for a gank. Actually, Tabi is going to walk over. Pyrrhic Shadow's really low, though. He's going to go onto Sexy. The Rupture's going to miss. A lot of damage coming onto Sexy. The Flash! What is Soldai doing? The Consume is not going to be enough, and Soldai now sure to go down. Silence, and the auto attack from Tabi no Touches. Tom Kent will give him the kill. Rocket! Oh, it lands, but not the target that wanted it. And even then, Sexy wouldn't have gone down. Kill a Devil, taking a huge amount of damage, though, from Mid or Disco Nunu's Anivia. And speaking of huge amount of damage, this is the first turn of the game, and it might go down in favor of Gag Reflex, and yes, it does. Mid or Disco Nunu, who's going to be able to respond in kind, taking down this mid turret, so the gold lead is still in their favor, 3,500 gold. And with the first, or I should say the second dragon of the game up, I'm curious to see if Gag Reflex are going to try and contest this. They know it's available, they're going to secure the crab for themselves, and they're going to clear a little bit of vision. But Tom Kench and Braum are nearing, and that's something that High Buddy and PPC Master should be fearing. High Buddy's going to be able to recall properly. Maybe be able to buy himself an Avarice Blade, so he's doing pretty well for himself, the most CS in the game, and that's definitely going to give him more gold with that Avarice. Sexy's going for the turret. Hasn't actually taken aggro, as 2 full levels above Soldai, so Soldai not going to be able to really protect this turret for much longer. Yeah, Sexy's impressed me. He's gotten a huge amount of minions so far. Like, just this lead is immense. The other players and even his teammates have higher minion scores total, but just the fact that he's been able to punish Soldai this much has been an incredible boon for Ed Sheeran's fan club. PPC Master, is he going to ward this? Whoa, the stun lands, or stun misses, I should say. The tongue misses, and PPC Master might get out of this. The jump in, and the ult from Tom Kench. No, PPC Master is definitely not getting out of this one. Kill to Tabi no Tochu on a rampage. Wow, that Mundo is a god, says Luke out. Sexy, you are such a troll. Sexy taking a lot of damage from that turret. Hi, buddy. I don't know what he's doing, trying to walk against a Tom Kench. And I don't know what Pyrrhic Shadow is doing, but he's trying to kill his Tristana. Tristana's just going to jump away. Archon Alpha. Ignite is ticking. Is it going to be enough to get the kill? Meanwhile, Tabi no Tochu is still bloodthirsty for this kill. The stun is going to land. The slow is going to land. And Tabi gets the kill, but eventually does get taken down. Wow. Okay. That was something. A little bit of split decision making there, and I'm not sure that the shutdown was worth. But he did kill the enemy AD carry. Sexy ults, lands the cleaver, and Soldai in big trouble now. Soldai does not have flash. Will go down. That being said, though, with a dead Tabi no Tochu, this will give the dragon over to Gag Reflex, unless Mid or Disco Nuno wants to contest it. A ton of damage landing on a PPC Master. And the stun is going to miss. Pyrrhic Shadow should be able to get out alive. And yeah, that's a dragon now over to Gag Reflex. So they are still behind, but they are still keeping up. Yeah, I think you're right, Nadius V. I think if... obviously, you know, these aren't Challenger players, so their coordination could always improve, but I think... Or just decision-making, too. Pure Shadow should have gone maybe for the Braum. He might have thought he had enough burst to kill the Tristana, which I don't blame him for. But, oh. Hashtag UVA LCS pause. Although we've only had one pause other than this one today, but unfortunately I think we had someone disconnect or something. And I would just like to say that Tabi no Tochu agrees with me. Devour is being maxed, so he just wanted the level 3 in Tongue Lash to increase. Alright, kill the devil, unfortunately disconnected. Yeah, if Jax is gone for Devour, he might have it by now. It'd be pretty close. I'm not sure what minions. He went for a little bit of lane farm as well, so he might actually not be there just yet. But it'd be pretty close and it'd be very effective. I do agree that Devour is a better rush than Trinity Force. Yeah, I heard that game had a lot of pauses, CCC versus SSR. And also... There's another game that SSR played that had a bunch of pauses as well. Y'all need some better internet, although I can't really talk. Actually, no, my internet's been pretty good, and I am on ground, so... Don't really know what's up with you guys. That being said, I do need to sort of mediate how active I am, and of course there's sort of sounds that I can't account for because I live in dorms. Excuse me. But, yeah, I don't know. I think it's... stuff other than UVA or just UVA internet. Yeah, I've got to say, Tabi no Tochu, I apologize, Tabi. I don't actually know if I've seen any of your games so far, maybe just one, and I didn't remember your name, but I'm not gonna forget it after this Tom Kench play. This has been pretty impressive. This has actually been more impressive, more than just pretty impressive. This has been very impressive. Just gonna take this time to look at LCS stats right now. Yeah, Tom Kench is definitely a very strong champ. He is strong throughout any stage of the game, really. And is strong in multiple roles too. He's like everything you want a champion. That makes some people think he's OP. I am inclined to agree. At the moment, he is definitely overtuned, but that'll probably get fixed fairly shortly. All right, so Ed Sheeran fan club. Okay, Tabi no Tochu is actually a sub. That's what I was wondering. Interesting. Unless Oriental Akami changed his name. Hmm. So this is curious. Uh Hmm. Alright, just making sure. Ed Sheeran's fan club, since they had, obviously since we had downtime, I just want to make sure that Tabi wasn't actually like a smurf or whatever, but this is their player. Ugh, 5-minute delay so far. So where are we at in the game? 20 minutes and 43 seconds. 4,000 gold difference between the two teams. Yeah, this is still very much in control of Ed Sheeran's fan club. They have a huge front line for their carries. Their carries are getting stronger and stronger. And without having a Devour Jax, the late game of this Gag Reflex squad actually looks not as strong. The irony is that we have the pause, and now we have the highest viewership we've had tonight. If I'm not mistaken, Gag Reflex is 2-4. The reporting has been a little bit awkward, and Ed Sheeran's fan club version 2 is 4-1. So, yeah, it's a 15-minute wait time, unless extenuating circumstances. But in this case, I'm gonna give them 15 minutes. Okay, well, if you don't want to, if the players don't say it's a forfeit, then we will keep going. I would much rather have a game. But I would like this happen. Or I would like this to get going. Yep, CLG is... Alright, let's be honest. This is going to be Seamoose real talk. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to be that real. There is... I identify with Double Lift for a lot of reasons. And that's why I'm a Double Lift fan. I've never really been a fan of Hotshot, like, at all. Nor am I a fan of Reggie, to be fair. But, like, I think they're both idiots, and I don't really care about them. But I do, not having met Double Lift, that's a little bit creepy, but I do care about Double Lift. So, his decision to go to TSM, I hope it's a great one for him, and I will follow him as a fan. No, dude, I actually don't like Hotshot. I don't like either of them. Smithies, whatever. Afromoose, I've always liked Afromoose, so, like, I don't dislike CLG now, and I don't like TSM. I'm a fan, but TSM, having Bjergsen and Double Lift could actually be a super kick-ass team. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to rock a TSM Flare, though. Like, I'm not going to go... I'm just kind of in limbo as far as who my favorite team is, but Double Lift's still definitely my favorite player. I agree, Reggie is a fantastic businessman. Do not disagree at all. Whereas Hotshot is a retard in that sense. Or, actually, whatever. Yeah, Hotshot has not made smart decisions as far as business is concerned, whereas Reggie had. So even if I don't like Reggie personally... Again, I haven't met him. Maybe he's a much nicer guy, IRL. I do respect how good of a businessman he is, and that's really cool to have in a team owner. So, even though the whole Loco situation and him being a team coach himself is kind of dumb, I think it's sort of selfish to think he'd be that good of a coach, and they got pwned for it, but still. Reggie is ugly. Alright, well, the thing is, though... Whether or not someone's bad looking doesn't actually matter to anything, other than if you want to date him. So, if you don't want to date Reggie, and you think it's ugly, that doesn't actually matter to any conversation at all. I don't hate ugly people just because they're ugly. That's pretty mean. So you can like someone because they're not ugly, like, I won't judge you for that, because you can think whatever. Yeah, Reggie's girlfriend is also hot. But, like, that's not actually a valid argument for saying, I don't know, that's not a valid argument for disliking someone. But It's America. You can think what you'd like. What is going on in this chat right now? My favorite team is Team EXPT, Team Exotic Play Tactics. I've never heard of that, King X Ramus. Sounds like a pretty good team. Are they in the LCS this year? Expeke is a sex god. Alright, Luke, I'm not gonna say that on stream. You guys are crazy. Alright, so it sounds like Kill the Devil hasn't reconnected quite yet. It's up to... Essentially, it's up to Mid or Disco Nunu. If he chooses to let them go past the 15-minute mark, then we will keep playing. No, not yet. We are new and the few. Yo, I know a couple challenger teams that want scrim partners. If you guys link me your Twitter, I'll set you up with that. Like, I'm not even kidding. I'm the captain and jungle main of the team. You only play Ramus? That'd be pretty cool. So let's see. As far as objectives that are up, Dragon is not. Baron is. No one's gonna go for Baron yet. Just spawned. We see Braum and Anivia heading to bot. And Tristana there as well, so maybe they go for this turret. Kill the Devil, he is in the area, so we might see a fight for that objective. It's the last remaining outer turret that Gag Reflex have up, so it'd be worth taking down if they can do it. It's very risky to dive Janna Jinx Jax though, so we'll see. Janna Jinx Jax. Janna Jinx, Jacob Heimer Smith. Janna, Jaxheimer. I wonder if you could make a song out of League Champs to that tune. I wonder if you... Yo, someone should figure this out. If you could make a team, like all the letters you could make a team for. Or, yeah, like A. Like Aatrox, top lane, or jungle. Ari in the mid lane. Anivia, support. Amumu, jungle, and... AD carry would be there's no AD carry that could be a what could it be? I don't know, but that'd be close to a team actually. AD carry A. Hold on, I'm gonna do this right now. We're gonna figure this out. Oh, and I've just been told that their jungler reconnected. We are on the delay though, so it's gonna be about 3 more minutes. Sorry about that. For now though, please enjoy me trying to make teams. Okay, so we could have a Kali AD carry. Oh no, we could have Ashe AD carry. Wow, you could actually make a team out of all A's. Alright, what about B? Nope, B doesn't work. Only 4 champions. C. Caitlyn support. No, Caitlyn bot. Corki mid. Cho'Gath support. Cassiopeia top. Darius jungle. That works. Or no, not Darius jungle. That doesn't work. That's only 4. I'm retarded. Okay. Darius for D. Darius top. Diana. Nope. D doesn't work. It's only 4. E doesn't work. It's only 4. F doesn't work. It's only 3. Graves. Oh, okay. G definitely works. Garen top. Gragas jungle. Graves AD carry. Gangplank mid. Galio support. That would work and kind of be good. Yo, I would love some Little Johns right now. Someone please give me Little Johns. I do suck at Draven. I will offer no excuse. I will simply say that my 1,000 games of Draven that I have played have all been 1 in 10 records, and I am the worst Draven player, but it's okay. Yeah, J works. You got Jarvan, Janna, Jax, Jace, Jinx. Gotta unlock it. That would actually be a good team too. Jace mid, Jax top, Jarvan jungle, Janna, Jinx bot. What about K? K has a lot of damage champions, but not too many tanks. Kha'Zix, Kindred. Nope, K's good too. L is good. What about Z? Let's go the other way. Z doesn't have an A to carry, but does have 5. Maybe Ziggs or Zyra or Zillion has A to carry? Again, this pause should be over in about 15 to 20 seconds. And I got a sex bot on Twitter to like my post. Hell yeah. What other champions could we have? Y doesn't work. Z doesn't work.
A summoner
W doesn't work. And hello, Killadevil. Alright, so just over a 15-minute pause. That might be a record. Oh yeah, V could definitely be super strong. Holy crap. I think V and J might be the 2 strongest. New Graves? Yeah, New Graves definitely looks like a potential jungler. He's so tanky, dude. Like, New Graves is actually disgusting, his tankiness. And I know a lot of analysts think that the AD carries are way overtuned, which, as an AD carry main... But as a League of Legends fan, they might need a little bit of balance. But maybe League of Legends is just going in a different direction now, where things are just all super broken like Dota. Either way, back to this game. Need a little bit of water. Archon Alpha is going to clear that ward, so they might still go for this potential dive or turret take. Get rid of chat real quick. Sexy's gonna dodge. Think a turret shot, and we see the pings coming out, so they know Pyrrhic Shadow is coming into the spa lane. Lyrel doing damage to the turret. The shield isn't gonna be enough to save it. Lyrel's still tanking, and Pyrrhic Shadow is here. So we might see a 4v3 fight. Whoa! Killadevil going for the kill in the top lane. But Sexy makes it out alive. This is now really, really good for Ed Sheeran's fan club because they can push this turret 4v5 situation. Tom Kench is going to ult in. This is going to be a dive, or they're just going to take the turret outright. Pyrrhic Shadow is going to go in for a crazy kill, but he might actually get out alive. Just kidding. Teleport coming in from Sexy. Pyrrhic Shadow surrounded. The turret is down. PPC Master is being chased now. The slow onto him. Mid or Disco Nuno picks up that kill. Teleport coming in. Soldai, what are you going for? Oh, trying to save Pyrrhic Shadow. Hex Drinkers pop. Tabi kills. Hi, buddy. Pyrrhic goes for a kill onto Lyrel. It's not enough. Soldai gets a rupture. Can she get the... Nope, didn't even have the ultimate. And that is a crazy drawn out 4-for-0 in favor of Ed Sheeran's fan club. It's not looking good for Gag Reflex. They're gonna lose this turret for sure. And they were really trying to go for something there where I think it might have just been the better decision to give up the turret and cut their losses. Tabi now is going to steal Killadevil's red buff. And honestly, Killadevil hasn't even finished his jungle item, so we might not see what that's going to be. Oh, Tabi's looking to get that kill. That's going to be a lot of damage. He can proc the Devour, and does he get stunned? Okay. Today we learned, if you have Jax E, you do stun a Tahm Kench when you're in his belly. And if you are Jax, you can jump away from a Tahm Kench, and if you are a Tahm Kench all alone, you have gray health, so you're probably not going to die. And you hit Chompers, and Tabi's actually starting to be in a little bit of trouble. They get pretty low. Ignite gonna take down. One more hit might do it. I don't think Ignite is enough now, though. But the explosive charge is too threatening. Hi, buddy does not have the Super Mega Death Rocket, so somehow the Kench makes it out. Oh, big stun onto PPC Master. And a crit from Lyrel 6 as well. Oh, Mid or Disco Nuno is looking for Hi, buddy. 573 damage off of one spell. Mid or Disco Nuno is still alive. It's Soldai now caught out. Soldai is gonna go down, and this is looking... I don't really know. Maybe after that pause, you know, Gag Reflex just really couldn't find anything. They were behind, to be fair, but... Oh, Pyrrhic Shadow looking for the kill, but the egg is still up, and Pyrrhic Shadow goes... No, the Hex Drinker keeps himself alive for just another second, before he does eventually go down. unstoppable Lyra and Devil trying to keep his turret up. Sexy is going to be pushed off, but in the meantime, Gag Reflex lose another turret. All of a sudden, you know, within... Oh, nice kill. Hi, buddy. Gets the rocket onto mid or Disco Nunu. Now Sexy in a bit of trouble. The stun won't land. The slow one on the knockup does, but I don't know if you have enough damage. This is a very strong Mundo who keeps healing for 94 HP every freaking second. Yep, that's not going to be enough. They might even look to turn this now. It's looking pretty bad. I don't even remember what the, you know, what the heck the... It was like 23 minutes or 22 minutes when the pause happened, but the goal was like 3,000 difference, and all of a sudden it's over 10,000 difference. This has absolutely snowballed in favor of the fan club, and the way that their team works, exactly, it's hard to kill their team. They're going to try for it, though, onto Archon Alpha and Sexy. They have no team members alive, but a teleport coming in. Archon Alpha take it very, very low. Can Peric Shadow pick up the kill? Devil, meanwhile, goes down to mid or Disco Noodle. Archon is still alive somehow, some way. Eventually, he goes down to Peric Shadow, but in the meantime, that's two members of Gag Reflex dead, and Peric Shadow in huge troubles. Lyrel has made it down. That's a triple kill for Sexy. He's looking for the Quadra. He's going to make it. No, he gets killed by the Jinx, but the Jinx... Now, 1v1ing Lyrel. Lyrel take a lot of turret hits, though, and a flash. Lyrel is gonna go down. Hi, buddy. Flashes for that one, but Tabi now chasing, hunting, knowing that the AD carry has no flash, no teammates, no teleport. Hi, buddy is sure to die here. And that's gonna be not an ace, but the extended ace. Oh. Wow. Utter disrespect. Tom Kench, for as classy as he tries to be, is kind of a dick. Gotta say. So Ed Sheeran's fan club, they have done so well, only losing to the Black Turtles so far, and I don't think they're going to lose to Gag Reflex here. Whereas Gag Reflex, after half of the splits play, they need to find themselves, because they definitely have good players, and they have, you know, I don't know. I'm not sure what they're missing, to be honest, because they have synergy. Three of the players have played together for quite some time. Devil, he's going for this dragon here. Very desperate attempt. Wow, Tabi, I don't even know if he had to flash for that, but that's going to be the second dragon for the fan club. Peric Shadow flashed away. PPC Master caught out. He doesn't have his Monsoon up. You know, Cleaver goes wide, and looks like PPC Master is going to be okay. But I would absolutely agree. Hot and Draw Disgusting does provide, or does define or describe this Tom Kench, or just Tom Kench in general, very well. I ban him whenever I can. He is pretty bonkers. Interesting that he's going for Raptor Cloak. Maybe he's looking to build a ZZ Rot? Huh, that'd be interesting. Definitely not an item I've seen on him, but it's, you know, at this point, he's so far ahead. I don't really know if any item matters. He could go for, like, Blade of the Ruin King or whatever and continuously proc his passive, and he'd be just fine. I'm not even kidding. Blade of the Ruin King Tom. I don't think Devourer's Tom is good, but Blade of the Ruin King at this point in the game might actually be okay. And it'd also be super fun. Attack speed is such a fun stat to have. PPC Master, gonna Monsoon, doesn't have his flash, remember, and is gonna be able to get out alive. No, I do think ZZ Rod Portal is a good item. I'm not saying it's bad. Oh, Devil gonna get stunned up. I don't know if he DC'd. I think he might have. I don't know if it'll actually matter. Devil goes down. Peric Shadow runs away, and that's another pause. Well, but at this point in the game,
A summoner has disconnected.
yeah. Oh, really? Who paused? Yeah, it definitely looked like a DC, but both captains being really good homies, I would say, because it was actually Mid or Disco Nunu who decided that he would pause, even though he doesn't need to, and then Peric Shadow, the captain of Gag Reflex, saying that he'll take the pause, and now back to the action. PPC Master in big trouble. Sexy's going for High Buddy instead. High Buddy's going to be able to get the kill onto Archon. Does that give him the reset he needs? He gets the reset, but he's doing no damage to Sexy at all. Sexy's still... Okay, Sexy's dead, but now High Buddy is up against Minor Disco Nuno. Tabi's there as well. Pyrrhic Shadow and High Buddy. One of them is going to go down for sure. It might be the both of them to devour onto the Talon, and I don't think he's going to make it. And High Buddy didn't make it either. That's going to be another ace for Ed Sheeran's Fan Club 2.0. Or version 2, I should say. This game is pretty much over already. I would not... Yeah. Even with the DC, it's unfortunate, but at this point I don't think there's a real way for them to come back. Yeah, High Buddy, I mean, I said it before, this team, Gag Reflex, their record, you know, if I had made a power ranking or just prediction for how I would place each of the teams, I would not expect them to do this poorly. I do think a combination of off-meta picks, like both the mid laner and the support, who are two of their strongest players, play off-meta champions, so that's actually done a, you know, hasn't done them any good in this meta. But they have High Buddy, who's really good, PPC Master, and Pyrrhic Shadow are both pretty good as well. It just unfortunately hasn't been enough for them so far. Pyrrhic Shadow gonna get caught out, uses his ultimate. Is he gonna go for the kill into Lyrel? He's gonna do a lot of damage. Lyrel might actually die here, and he does. Pyrrhic Shadow, can he get out though? That's the real question. PPC Master and High Buddy to support him, so Tabi no Tochu is not gonna be able to pick up the kill. PPC Master, he's gonna get slowed. Is he gonna get devoured? No, he's gonna devour the minion instead, but he misses the slow, lands the stun, and PPC Master with a nice monsoon. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Soldai gets hit by the Braum passive. Soldai trying to get out of line. The Braum knock up the cleavers. Soldai is trying to run for dear life, but you are gone. High Buddy dodges the stun very narrowly. I do agree. I think that Pyrrhic Shadow playing assassins who aren't the meta at the moment has not done them any favors in the UVA LCS. Because how does a Talon deal with an Anivia at this point, you know? Tom Kench has the Elixir of Iron, is absolutely massive. Pyrrhic Shadow is looking for Minor Disco Nuno. He's going to go in. That's the Rake landing. That's a lot of damage. Minor Disco Nuno and the ultimate from Jinx. They might be able to kill him in egg form. Or is this Tom Kench too much? Minor Disco Nuno goes down. And Archon Alpha is trying to help, but the damage from Jinx is actually pretty strong. Red buff was enough. He flashed for it anyway. Pyrrhic Shadow is still fighting Tom and makes it out. Red buff applied. But PPC Master gets turned on by Tabi and Lyrel. PPC Master eventually goes down to the auto attack, and here comes Sexy, who's meanwhile finished the inhibitor in the top lane. He's looking for Pyrrhic Shadow, misses the cleaver. Might he go for the dive? He's going to. Pyrrhic Shadow doesn't have flash available, doesn't have ult. Pyrrhic Shadow is dead. High Buddy tried to heal him, gonna do a lot of damage to Sexy, and has a cutlass, so he's gonna be slowing him down. But jumped on by Lyrel, and he gets shut down as well. This is not looking good. I mean, that's a bit of a underestimation. No, poor description, I guess I'll say, about the state of this game right now. This state of this game is absolutely out of control. And yeah, it's not GG just yet, but 2 inhibitors down, 32 minutes against this composition. It would take literally baby Jesus coming from the sky and granting Faker level power to each of each of the members of Gag Reflex. Maybe even 5 Fakers wouldn't be enough to carry this game. I'm not sure. That's an interesting point that Tabi is playing really offensively. I haven't really noticed. You know, that maybe Tabi should have been a little bit more protective. That being said, though, it's done his team fine, the way he's been playing. For now, though, at this point, it's not really going to matter. Last turn of the game. Unfortunately, Killer Devil hasn't reconnected yet. Flash in, Soldai gets stunned up. Good Monsoon is going to keep Soldai alive for just a little bit longer. Pyrrhic Shadow going on to Anivia. Anivia finally gets devoured, though, is going to be just fine. And Pyrrhic Shadow being chased, gets the kill into Archon Alpha, but here comes Tristana. Tristana's going to get 1 kill. Lyrel on a killing spree now. Is he going to jump in, or is he just going to try and hit the PPC Master? PPC Master, red buff is applied. red buff at the flash is going to be enough for the double kill. Soul Die and Hi Buddy go down as well. Triple kill to Tristana in 30 minutes and 50 seconds in. Ed Sheeran will put a Gag Reflex out of their misery and win this game. Moving on, they are now 6-1 in the UVA LCS and are looking very strong as we head into the second part of the season.